Okay, so we were kind of a little bit, we kind of neglected Pro Day Day. There was so much to jam in on Monday when we recorded the podcast, and Richard's connection was near non-existent. So we wanted to,
Prehistoric.
yeah, prehistoric. So we wanted to kind of touch on Pro Day Dirt in what is quite an interesting round. I'm going to be honest with Richard, I was bereft last night without the Thursday rugby. I feel like whenever I get a free Thursday evening, a genuinely spare Thursday evening, that is when the Pro Day Dirt games, like whenever I want it to be on a Thursday, they move it. And it's starting to annoy me because it was like, it's happened more than once this year. Obviously, we were
Yeah,
ironing up the van game and like stuff like that. They just keep moving games to Saturday or Sunday, and it's always when it's inconvenient for me. If you're trying
yeah,
to grow the
must
game in the UK, you need me to be on board,
it would have
or but
been
both of us. But
it would
yeah,
have been Grenoble Brive as well, which has been pushed to the Saturday. That's the kind of clear favourite, isn't it? Now is the headline slot when there's no when there's well when they feel the need to do it. This is I think the fourth game this year. Only one not involving Van though, I believe.
yeah. First one not involving
Um,
van.
they've very much been the darlings. I think we should maybe start there. Like I was looking at it, Grenoble, like their difficulties this year, like a few coaching issues, a horrific injury list, like well storied this season. I think throughout, given just the nature of the league, they've basically effectively had a really poor season and are still very much in touch. But we're kind of
Yeah,
now at that point where if they lose this at home to Brive, it is getting towards, I think, insurmountable. The gap would be, I think, 16 points, possibly 17, depending on how bonus points go. And with 9 games to go, you feel that that gap to sixth place, and bearing in mind Brive are, they're a fair bit behind the top four and a little bit behind Oyonnax in fifth. It's a real uphill struggle from there. So you would think.
it's starting to look like the top five is locked in because you bet like I know jumping back to one of the other fixtures, you've got Oyonnax Mont de Marsan there, which is about as sure a bet as you can imagine. They've got like an average age in that front row of 21 against one of the best scrummaging teams, and they travel terribly, and they're not as good generally. So Oyonnax will pick up 5 points, you'd imagine. It's and so everyone below Oyonnax basically is fighting for that final sixth place. I think the top five, it'll be amazing if one of them drops out of the top six. So you're fighting for that Brive place. You're going for Brive though in this game. Why?
Just because I think I think Grenoble have been so inconsistent. Brive haven't won away from home, I think, since September, but they
Yeah.
have been a little bit more competitive in a couple of games. They were, not not a Mont de Marsan. They sent a pretty poor side over to Van, didn't they? But they were the first team to creak Nevers just before Christmas, and I don't know. I feel
Surely
like
that
it's
says more about
time.
that's just Nevers, right? Like they were
Yeah, but
beating
at
quite
that point
comfortably Monday.
they were
Yeah.
absolutely flying at that point. I just think their time is coming away from home with the sides they're putting out. If they do indeed, I don't think the team will be announced
No.
until probably an hour from now. But yeah, I'm this is their chance to resign Grenoble to another year in Pro Day.
Yeah. Then running through the other fixtures, we've both gone for, well, Colomiers v Beziers is another one. Beziers have not got a single point on the road this season, and Colomiers obviously going pretty well in pretty good form. Beziers have also sent a not very strong side, so that's pretty comfortable. Oyonnax, as I mentioned, against Mont de Marsan. The other one we're agreeing on, Agen v Valence. We've gone for Agen. I think Valence are starting to tire a little bit, and I think Argen's home form is strong enough. They've got a strong enough pack to mix it with Valence. Valence feels like they're a lot of the same names are kind of coming through. I think that's why their performances have dropped off. I think they're just starting to get a bit leggy. Maybe it's a long old season, and that's why it's so hard to sustain early season form in Pro Reda. Any advancements on that?
No, I think they've I'd kind of agree, albeit they have hung in there. Their defeats recently away from home have not been by particularly big margins.
Yeah, but
Um,
their margins
but
in
yeah,
all games are getting tighter. So
yes,
yeah,
agreed.
I actually changed my mind on Aurillac v Angoulême. Don't know if you noticed. I've gone for Angoulême because I think they've sent quite a strong side and just got a hunch. But
Fair enough.
Aurillac makes perfect sense, especially if it's raining, which I think it is in France today.
Which it always is in Aurillac.
Yeah. Carcassonne v Nevers, the big Game of Thrones inspired slash stolen
Defend
Defender
Notre
City.
Cité,
Yeah.
which to be fair, Carcassonne, I think that is a bit of a strapline they've used
Yeah, it
for
is. Yeah, I
quite a
think that's
while,
their
right?
motto. Yeah. Or like,
Um,
yeah, they use it on socials. Nevers have 1 point on the road. They've also sent a pretty, well, a slightly changed upside. This is as good a shot at a home win as Carcassonne will have. And do that. Although Mont-de-Marsan would, yeah, they're still not out of the woods yet. Dax v Provence at Stade Jean Daget.
yeah, I mean, Dax have been phenomenal at home and arguably not a great time to have to shift games. But yeah, they've been great ever since that. Basically, the kind of mega points deduction was floated.
Yeah,
Home form's been really good, not been terrible away. I mean, Provence are flying though, aren't they? So I think it'll be tight. But I'm backing the boys down in Dax to do the job at in
Provence are
Bayonne.
slightly rotated as well, but they do ultimately have the power across the squad to mix it with Dax. Maybe a little bit more X factor in that back line, a bit more pace that could help. Biarritz Vivan. Biarritz, I'm always reticent to go against them when they're at home. They seem to have got some players back. And found a little bit of form. Van are sending a strong side, and that is why part of the reason why
Yeah,
I've gone for them. And we
yeah.
made most of these selections before the teams came out, but when I saw the Van team, I was like, yeah, that's pretty strong. I'm not ruling out a bit. I wouldn't be. I'd be less confident about that as an away win than well, actually no, about the same as the other ones. But yeah, it's not quite as clean cut as some of the Van away victories or some of the Van home wins.
No,
Any other
they'll go.
advancements on Pro de
No,
round 21?
no. I think if Van win that, they'll go to 7 away wins, which will match Colomiers in the season, which is some effort. And as you say, they're looking pretty well stacked. But I think if they do prevail, it'll be tight. It won't be one of the Van away bashings that we've seen once or twice
Yeah,
this year.
yeah. Very good. Cracking round, as you can see from how split we are on which way they're going to go. We will obviously be digesting it, and we've got hopefully lined up a bit of a Pro Day deep dive on the podcast next week with a special guest, which we will reveal at the time. We won't give away a spoiler, but someone who knows a bit of a different angle on rugby and a bit of a different angle on Pro Day. So make sure you check out the podcast next week. But thanks very much for watching. Subscribe, tell your friends, give it a share, give it a like. Au revoir.
Au revoir.